It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the South region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors South.
Hi everybody and welcome in to the very first episode of the 2014 season of the all-new Fox Sports Outdoors. We're coming at you with another full season of all the great fishing news and information that you've come to expect from our show under an all-new name, Fox Sports Outdoors. And for the very first time, I'd like to welcome in a brand new audience to our show. 7 new states, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky now can get all the very latest fishing news on their local lakes, rivers, and bays as well. And the great thing about the all-new Fox Sports Outdoors is that regardless of where you live in those 2 regions, you'll always see your local fishing information on your local lakes, rivers, and bays. We've got 2 teams of fishing reporters out in the field covering all the very latest, and they're bringing it to you firsthand right here on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm happy to be your host, and we're about to head into it this year. And right now, I'd like to welcome you into our first episode here in Texas. We are located at Stillhouse Hollow Reservoir. This is a fairly small reservoir located north of Austin. The Corps of Engineers Lake, got lots of bass in it. That's what we're going to be targeting today. As you know, we've had a very, very cold winter all across the southern tier of the United States. And because of that, all the fishing is behind schedule. Normally, we would have a lot of spawning activity going on for white bass and largemouth bass and smallmouth and spotted bass. This year, everything is late. And we're going to talk about that out there on the lake today and give you some tips and pointers as to how you can locate and catch bass on your favorite lake here in the next few weeks. And while we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your latest fishing reports from our team of reporters. Right now though, we're going to get the Nitro Z8 bass boat with the Mercury Pro XS 250 hanging on the back of it in the water. And while we do that, we take you back to the FSN studios for your weekend planning.
The Salooner tables are forecasting mixed conditions for your weekend fishing opportunities. Good game fish activity is predicted for Sunday, with the peak daylight hours beginning right around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun will rise at 7:10 and set at 7:23. And look for the moon to be 65% visible. Stay with us, we have all your fishing updates from around the southeast. Plus, I'll return with professional angler Russ Clark on the Ask the Pro feature. Back in just a bit.
Well, we've got the Nitro Z8 launched, and before we head to this quick break, I want to mention that we've been driving Nitro high-performance fishing boats for over 20 years on our various television shows, and I cannot tell you how thrilled I am with the brand new Nitro Z8 that we've just launched. It is completely rigged out with everything you could possibly imagine. I don't have time to tell you about all of that right now, but I did prepare a special video, a complete walk around of this brand new Nitro Z8. Go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the YouTube logo to get to our YouTube channel, and under there's a how-to video section. Go under the how-to videos and find the 2014 Nitro Z8 video. Take a look for yourself at the fantastic Nitro that I get to drive on this show each and every week.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Mercury Marine, celebrating 75 years of marine excellence. By Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability. And by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker.
Coming up. Not a bad fish. All right, there we go. We got a bass to start with there. He's got a big mouthful of jerkbait. Welcome back, everybody. You're on Fox Sports Outdoors this week. Our first episode of the 2014 season. Doing a little bass fishing right now. There's a little fatty right there. That could be a little small female, maybe. Let that fish go back right there. Wham. Good way to get it started. Let me explain to you right now what the bass are doing so that you can go out and have a good chance of catching some. They're in migration mode right now. They're moving from deep water, where they've been all during this extreme cold winter that we've had, moving towards the backs of the pockets, backs of the creeks, shallow water where they're going to spawn. And these fish are migrating along, see this bank right here? It's a steep dropping bank just inside the mouth of a creek. You're looking for a pathway between deep water and shallow water, and that's where the bass are staging right now, what's called the pre-spawn. Hey, before we head to some fishing reports here, I want to mention something to you. We've got all new social media, all new website. It all keys off foxsportsoutdoors.com. Go to the website. From there, go to our Twitter feed. You're going to get all the latest fishing news, all the big fish that get caught, all the fishing news daily on our Twitter feed. You can also go to our new Facebook page. That's at facebook.com/foxsportsoutdoors. Like our Facebook page, follow our Twitter feed, and you'll always get the latest fishing news, including a new sweepstakes that we're announcing. We're going to be giving away a Lowrance Elite 7 unit as the grand prize, plus some more great prizes. So go to the Twitter feed, the Facebook page, look at the sweepstakes, enter it. You need to follow the Twitter feed, like the Facebook page in order to be eligible. Lots more information at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Let's get you some fishing reports right now. Let's check in right now in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia with Bob McNally on the coastal areas and Jimmy Jacobs in freshwater.
March fishing is always unpredictable with hot weather and cold weather, and you've got to time your days, but there's some very good fishing along the coast, particularly off Mississippi, where my son Eric tells me that yellowfin tuna up to 100 pounds and more are being caught offshore. It's a long way, it's probably about 80 miles, but boats that are and anglers that are chumming and drifting, chunking, are doing very, very well. There's not a whole lot of fish, but they are huge. Redfish and black drum schools also are offering some very good fishing along the coast. The fish are potted up into sometimes schools of 100 or more, and there are some huge black drum. Some of the fish are up to 40 pounds, and they tend to school together. Best baits are crabs and shrimp, but they will hit a jig as a reaction type bait. Redfish also are being seen the same way, and you can catch them on primarily jigs, but they also will take bait. Sheepshead also are in very good supply, and they're being caught around a lot of the bridges, rock jetties, and some of the deeper oyster bars. That fishing can be good all along the entire Mississippi coast and also into Alabama. Sea trout are starting to move out of the rivers back toward the more open areas of the lower rivers and into the bays and bayous. Over in Georgia, my good friend Captain Greg Hildreth out of Brunswick is also doing very well on sheepshead. Those fish are probably from 5 to 8 pounds, and they're being caught offshore around some of the wrecks and reefs. Artificial reefs A and C off Brunswick and St. Simon's Island have been very good for sheepshead, and it's only 25 to 40 feet of water, not that very far offshore, so small boats can get access to them. So that's it for the Coastal Report. Remember, you can't catch them if you don't get out there, and when you go, please take a youngster with you. We've got to pass this tradition on.
Welcome to Fox Sports Outdoors season opening look at freshwater fishing in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. The winter weather's finally breaking, it's warming up, and the fish are beginning to bite. Now, if it's big bass you're looking for, it's time to head to Lake Guntersville in northeast Alabama. The Bassmasters Classic was held there at the end of last month, and the fishing was outstanding. Winning angler Randy Howell of Springville, Alabama was culling 4-pound largemouths on the last day of the tournament, on his way to bringing in 67 pounds, 8 ounces of fish. Now since then, the fishing has only gotten better. It's pre-spawn action. You can be throwing rattle baits, swim baits, and spinner baits, and keep them moving, because these fish are active, they will chase a lure. Now a good tactic to use would be to mimic Randy Howell. Head up into the Spring Creek arm of the lake, get on the causeway, and fish the riprap along it, but don't overlook the grass beds. Those are what have made Guntersville famous for its bass fishing. Now down in central Georgia, it's time to head to Lake Sinclair on the Oconee River. The striped bass fishing is as good as it'll get all year there. These fish are making spawning runs up into the Little River Arm and also into Murder Creek. If you're in southwest Mississippi, it's time to go crappie fishing on Lake Okissa in the Homachito National Forest. Now this lake is much better known for its largemouth action, therefore the crappie get overlooked. and it's a good place to catch some slabs right now. Now's the time to get out on the water for some spring fishing.
There's one. Real clear water down there. I've got him hooked under the chin. Not a bad bass. Fat. Look at how fat this fish is. Man, that fish is coming up getting ready to spawn right there. That jerkbait again. All right. Hey, welcome back everybody. Fox Sports Outdoors today. Doing a little pre-spawn bass fishing, teaching you how to catch them for the next couple of 3 weeks until they actually move up onto their bed. So we're going to put this fish back. Watch this fish after I put it back. You're going to watch it swim in that really clear water. Now, instinctively, when they're heading toward their nesting areas, they want to feed up. Instinctively, they're chasing down and feeding on everything they can find. So they're very active this time of the year. You want to be fishing a moving bait. I love that jerk bait because you can cover a lot of water with it. You can twitch it real hard, real fast. In fact, let me show you real quick how I fish this bait. I throw it out on a long cast. Now watch my rod tip. I put my rod tip down and I go twitch, twitch, pause. Twitch, 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 pause. Twitch, pause, and you can see I'm twitching it on a slack line with hard twitches. So I'm fishing for a real active fish, a fish that will chase a moving bait. Now once they get up on those beds, you're gonna have to slow way down and fish a little plastic bait or a rubber leg jig, a football jig, something like that. But right now, they'll chase your bait down. So spinner bait, lipless rattle and crankbait, jerk bait, something like that works real well. Let's check in right now in Tennessee and Kentucky with Crispin Powley.
Tennessee and Kentucky are finally getting loose of the grips of old man winter. Guys, Kentucky Lake here on fire right now. Where all that cold, muddy water is finally moving out. The fish are moving towards the banks. The pre-spawn transition has begun. A Strike King red eye shad in a bright color, a KVD 1.5, a KVD 1.5 flat are all deadly. But right now, the hottest thing on this lake, without a doubt, is the tour grade bladed umbrella rig. Swimming caffeine shad as a trailer, go throw it around creek mouths and ditches on the way to spawning areas, and you're sure to run across a few big ones. Guys, the crappie bite's real hot right now too. Chartreuse and red, chartreuse and blue, and stake beds that are also adjacent to spawning areas are accounting for some big limits of slabs. The north end of Kentucky Lake's a little clearer, a little colder. Jerkbait bite. That and the umbrella rig bite up there also is really good. The hottest lake in the country, arguably though, is Chickamauga. East Tennessee, around the Dayton area, umbrella rig and Chickamauga go together like peanut butter and jelly. Go throw that tour grade bladed umbrella rig with the swimming caffeine shad trailer all day long. All you gotta do is get online and research it. I'm telling you, there's some monster sacks being caught there. Guys, the fishing's great. We can't wait to see you. Until next time, God bless.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Costa Sunglasses. See what's out there. By Luz, setting a new standard in fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Strike King Lures, #1 in fishing. By Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate.
Hey, welcome back everybody. You're on Fox Sports Outdoors, and we're bass fishing today and for pre-spawn bass in the spring, and I've made a big switch right now. Moved and started fishing some grass beds. Not that big a fish, but he's balled up in it. Let's see if I can hoist him out of there. There we go. There is what I'm fishing for him in. And there's just a good solid keeper size bass right there. And there is the way you catch them out of that grass. By far, in my opinion, it's the best way, and I'll show you that bait up close later, but that's a lipless rattling crankbait. All right, we've caught some like that today. We'll put him back. A lot of times, the bass, when they're moving up out of that deep water, will hit those edges of those grass beds and then use those as migration routes to move on back in the shallow water to spawn. So you want to find hydrilla, milfoil, coontail, any kind of that aquatic vegetation you can find. Driving down the lake, the first key is look over there and see this right here. Big flotillas of mud hens or coots. They'll always be sitting above grass beds. Then once you get in there and locate generally where the grass beds are, you get on your electronics like my Lowrance HDS9 up here, and I'm going to kind of troll across some of this and show you what I'm talking about. I've got a split screen set up. This is the best sonar GPS unit on the market. It's the top of the Lowrance line, the HDS line. You can see on the split screen on the left is traditional 2D sonar, and you can see those grass beds bubbling up off the bottom. And on the right is the structure scan, or the down scan 3D image of that same grass. Gives you all the detail. You can actually see the blades of the grass in it. If you can make a long cast with a lipless rattle bait, reel it back in real slow, you've got a chance to catch the bass of a lifetime. All right, let's move along for some more of your fishing reports. Let's go to the Carolinas with Inglis Glover.
Hey folks, Captain E here with your Carolinas report, brought to you this week by Marshall's Marine, located in Lake City at Georgetown, South Carolina. Your bass boat specialist since 1969 for family-friendly fun. Visit www.marshallsmarine.com. Let's get started on the freshwater side of things, where right now with the recent warming trends, the bass are moving out of those deeper staging areas and up into the shallow bedding areas. Be sure to target them with buzz and spinner baits this time of the year for your largest bass. Also, Captain Stevie Pack reports that the Santee River is starting to fill up with stripers as they're making the migration up to the Congaree and the watery rivers, and he's catching large fish in the 26 to 30 inch range right now. On the lower lake, Lake Moultrie right now, Captain Chris Orvin reports great catches of channel and blue cats along the river channel just above the dam. And as well, he says that his crappie piles are still covered up with fish, and he's coming home with large numbers of fish on artificial jigs. Moving on to the saltwater side of things, I was recently joined by Captain Chris Orvin down outside of Charleston, just behind Isle of Palms, for some targeting of redfish in the shallow water estuaries, and we had some great days with our egret baits, voodoo shrimp, bringing home some nice redfish. On the nearshore reefs, the sheepshead and black sea bass are still in great numbers, and the sheepshead are falling victim to jig heads tipped with fiddler crabs, oysters, or clams fished vertically. The offshore fishery of the Carolinas can be wonderful this time of the year, with your largest wahoo and your largest numbers of tunas coming into the docks often. Also in the Outer Banks, the yellowfin and bluefin are starting to show up as well. This has been your Carolinas report for today, and remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. By Motor Guide, trolling motors engineered for anglers. And by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Welcome to the big leagues.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro feature, where viewers can get insider tips from professional anglers. This week's question comes from Robbie, who wonders, is there a correlation between water temperature in season that can be targeted for the best fishing? For the answer, we checked with Russ Clark of the Professional Anglers Association.
The wintertime, we normally fish in about 46 degrees. If you're in 46, you want to slow it down, throw bigger, large profile baits. It's hard to get around a water temp in the wintertime because it is what it is. Now in the springtime, as the water starts warming from 56 degrees to 65, you'll have your crappie hitting the banks, and then you'll have your larger females in the pooch spawn on 56. And as it gets into the 60s and 65, then you'll have your push towards the banks, and they'll start laying their eggs and doing what they do best around 65 to 68 degrees.
Thanks, Russ. If you need help from one of the pros, visit our website and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit your question. Now let's see who wins a new pair of Costa sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Each week, some viewer on our show will win a free pair of Costa sunglasses simply by entering the Costa Catch of the Week contest. Now let's get right to this week's winner. He is Kevin Watson of Chattanooga, Tennessee, showing a 6-pound smallmouth bass he caught out of Chickamauga Lake in Tennessee. Now, here's how you can enter your fish photo. You simply go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. The right-hand side of the front page is the Costa Catch of the Week area. Now, you can see all of the Costas by going to their website. Just go back to our front page, click on the Costa logo. It'll take you right to all of the fantastic Costa frame and lens styles, like the ones that I was wearing on this week's episode. They're called Double Haul Camo Pattern. Next up, it's the Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff feature. the right gear to catch pre-spawn bass on your favorite lake. And it begins with the rod and reel setup for jerkbait fishing. This is the Lew's Speed Stick American Hero Rod Series. It's brand new on the market. It's a fantastic flat black finish rod, great reel seat, awesome handle, super guides, everything you would ever want in a fantastic fishing rod at a really affordable price. And the best news is, a part of the proceeds from each rod sold goes to the Wounded Warriors Project to help veterans of our wars, when they come home, be able to go fishing. It's going to outfit them with some great fishing gear like we use here on the show. Now, as far as the reel, this is the BB1 Pro. Now, you remember the original BB1 updated reel that Lew's came out with a couple of years ago. Well, this one's even better because they've taken all of the adjustments from inside the frame and moved them outside with one handy dial right on the outside of the palm plate side of the reel. Next up, let's show you some other baits that you can use to catch them when they're moving and aggressive in pre-spawn. On the left is the Strike King Red Eye Shad. Red color is always the best, either red or orange in the spring. And then next to that on the right side is a Strike King Tour Grade spinnerbait. And then further right of that is the jerkbait that we were using. That's the Strike King KVD jerkbait, and I like it because of the wide lip. It gives it a really wide wobble. You know, old sayings or adages are really funny things sometimes. Check out these two. Variety is the spice of life, and you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, both of those cannot be true at the same time. Fact of the matter is, you can teach an old dog new tricks. As a matter of fact, all of us as humans tend to fall into the same old boring patterns and ruts in many phases of our lives. So, here's a thought, a suggestion. Maybe try something new sometimes. A new food, a new recreation, a new road, a new way to get somewhere, a new pew at church. Just for change's sake, try something different. Maybe you'll find out that variety truly is the spice of life. Hey, thanks for joining us on this week's episode from Stillhouse Hollow Lake in Central Texas. Don't forget to join us for next week's episode. We'll be on Thursday at 6 p.m. and then a repeat airing Sunday at 8 a.m. And don't forget that you can always catch the latest updates or changes in those airtimes on the front page of our website, foxsportsoutdoors.com. Hey, and one more reminder, we're going to be putting all the latest fishing news, fish photos, videos, all kinds of great fishing information up on our Twitter feed. Just look for us at twitter.com/Fox_Outdoors, or just do a search for Fox Sports Outdoors in the Twitter box. Click follow and you always get the latest fishing news from the region right there. And be sure to like us on our brand new Facebook page, facebook.com/Fox Sports Outdoors. Until next week, I'm Barry Stokes saying be safe, have fun. Bye-bye.